Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. My name is Claire Schulin. I'm the Director of International Summer at the George Washington University. I'm here with my colleague, Andrea Riegel, who you can't see her video right now, but she'll come on later. And she's our Special Programs Advisor. And she'll be able to introduce herself and some other opportunities at the George Washington University. Today, we're very happy to talk about our summer programs at the university and just give you an idea of what options we have for students and for ranging from high school through graduate level ages. So you'll see the slides over here, and I'm going to walk through those, and then I'll pass it off to Andrea, who will talk much more about some of the other opportunities beyond the academics that we support at the George Washington University. So thank you very much for joining us, and we will get started. So first, just to give you an overview to GW, which is the George Washington University, we're located right in the middle of Washington, D.C. We're really just a few blocks from the White House, so we say hello to President Obama. We're also near the World Bank and the U.S. Department of State, so we're really right in the middle of all of the heart of international affairs and international activities. We are a world-renowned research institution and a leader in global education with over 72 undergraduate majors, which is quite a lot. We have expertise particularly in international affairs, of course, public policy, business, engineering, and the arts. We have a lot of distinguished faculty practitioners and quite a few state-of-the-art facilities. We just built a brand new science and engineering building, which we highly recommend people coming to visit. And of course, we have a capital markets trading room and a multimedia lecture hall. So we're very high tech. We're really making sure that we're up to date with everything that is new in technology. So it's a great place to visit for that. And as I mentioned, we're very close to not only some of these major institutions, but also the National Mall, downtown, Georgetown University, and Georgetown area where there's a lot of shopping. So a really great opportunity to be fully immersed in Washington, D.C. So what do our students look like generally? During the annual year, so during our fall and spring semesters, we have about 25,000 students across all levels and programs. That's around 10,000 undergraduates and about 15,000 graduate level students. During the summer, we have 5,000 students, so there are less students that come during the summer, which is a great reason to come during the summer, but we'll talk about that in a minute too. We have students from all 50 states and over 130 countries that study at GW during the annual year. And about 11% of summer students are international, so you'll still get a wide range of students that are coming to visit us during the summer, even if you're not with the 25,000 students and you're here with 5,000 students instead. So as I mentioned, there's some benefits to coming to summer, one being for sure that there are fewer students around in the area. So there's a much more intensive experience and you get better access to faculty. So your classes will be smaller, you'll get to engage much more so because you'll actually have a more opportunity for one-on-one with your faculty and your peers. It's a great opportunity, especially for those of you who are less familiar with the U.S. college experience. It's a great way to just test it out, whether you're in high school, whether you're in undergraduate or graduate level, just get a feeling for what it's like to be there. We also have experiential programs, so very much so about using Washington, D.C. as our classroom. So being near the World Bank and the State Department and all of these large institutions and other institutions that are very focused on making sure they're in Washington, D.C. to connect with the public policy world. There's a great way to get to meet other practitioners and other experts in their field. So your classes are going to be much more engaged with people who are also living and working in DC. You're not just going to be in an academic setting, you're going to get to be, your academic setting will be Washington, DC. The study during the summer tends to be more focused. Usually our classes are around 6 weeks in duration. Sometimes you can find classes that are a bit longer, but generally speaking, particularly for international students, we recommend you come for about 6 weeks or at most 12 weeks. There is a great way to really focus on what you're studying. It's a very intensive time period because usually semesters last for about 14 weeks at George Washington University. So this is really much more condensed and really focused on what you want to study in a short period of time. We also make sure that you're not just alone, that you're not just coming to the university to just study. We have a whole residential community where we put you in with other international students. You get a chance to interact. We have resident advisors that Andrea will talk about later, as well as other cultural programs that we offer. So Andrea will talk about that in a bit. So what do our summer programs include? Just a brief overview. You can receive academic credit and as well as a transcript. So it's not a degree, but you absolutely can transfer if your university at home accepts the credit that we are offering. They can absolutely take that and you'll receive credit for whatever it is you're studying. And you can also receive an official university transcript afterwards. We do also, of course, include a certificate of participation that is not on record at the university. That comes from our office, but it's definitely a recognition of your participation in the summer program. Andrea will talk much more about some of our extracurricular activities, social events and excursions, and cultural experiences as well. So for general study, this is our main program. This is where students can come as an undergraduate or graduate level study. We have over 650 courses. As I mentioned, it's about a 6-week program. We have 2 options for 6-week programs from May 18th through June 26th, that's this year, and then again July 5th through August 14th. We also have programs for high school students that also can match some of this. We have a pre-college program that allows high school level students to actually come and study various topics that we have at the university as well. So for both the general study at the pre-college level as well as the undergraduate and graduate level, here are some examples of the areas of study that we have. They range from international relations, law and government, English, writing, the arts, health sciences. So those who might be interested in pre-medicine, there are opportunities there. Of course, business and economics. We have an excellent business school. And math and sciences, we have a lot of students that are often interested in statistics. So we do have a lot of options. We do offer over 650 courses, as I mentioned, particularly for the undergraduate and graduate levels. High school students can take courses at the undergraduate level as well after they go through our application process. So there are some opportunities to really immerse yourself in what we have. So now I'm going to pass to Andrea to talk about campus living, and we'll be also able to answer questions after the presentation. So if you do have more questions about anything we've said or would like further information, we're happy to answer that as well.
Hi, everyone. My name is Andrea Riegel, and I'm the Special Programs Advisor at the George Washington University. I advise students across our programs. So we have a pre-college program for high school students that Claire mentioned. We also have undergraduate and graduate opportunities and a large selection of courses. And what I'm going to focus on is the other pieces outside of the academic pieces in our programs. So campus living is a really integral part of the experience of studying abroad and of being here for the summer. So regardless of the program, you'll have shared living. So if you live on campus, you will be in a shared room, typically of 2 to 4 people. And that's a very common aspect of US study. And it's also a very helpful and wonderful part of the experience because you have the opportunity to interact with your peers, to get to know other people that are part of that living community. So that's actually one of the benefits. We know that it's always nice to have a private room, but for the purposes of the programs that you'll be engaged in, having a shared room really helps that immersive experience so much more. Our residential staff, which Claire alluded to earlier, are on-site mentors, staff, liaisons. They will be there helping to facilitate activities outside of the classroom. They're there to answer any questions about the George Washington University, about DC. They're just going to be there for you. They're there to help you as you encounter questions about how should I prepare for this assignment, or where do I go for a textbook, or any of those questions. They're really there for you, and they're very helpful, and they're very eager to work with you. So that's a great part of the programs that we offer, because you have that on-site support, and they are there 24 hours around the clock. Our residence halls have a lot of community spaces. That's not common only to campus, but also to where you'll be living. So community space is kind of similar to the shared rooms. It's a great opportunity to get to see and meet others. So perhaps studying in a community space or just enjoying your breakfast in a community space really gives you an opportunity to connect with the other people that are living in your residence hall over the summer. And then dining options. Dining options at GW are unique. We are an urban campus. So part of our dining options actually include the city itself. So a lot of US institutions will have a traditional dining hall where you can purchase a meal plan. GW uses the city and a variety of vendors on campus to facilitate your dining. So there's lots of different places that you can eat on campus and get different types of cuisine while you're with us, rather than a traditional dining hall. So that's, I think, one of the great opportunities when you're participating in these programs. For those who are at the high school level in our pre-college program, there is a summer immersion program that is non-credit and takes place on our Mount Vernon campus, which is close to our Foggy Bottom campus, and that has more of a traditional dining hall experience. So if you're at the high school level, it's possible that you'll get either one of those options. At the undergraduate and graduate level, you'll be using the campus and the city more for your dining options. And then our campus is metro accessible. Our downtown Foggy Bottom campus is close to 2 metro stations, one of which actually has our university in the name. So there is a Foggy Bottom George Washington University stop. So that's very close to our campus. And what that provides for students is the ability to move around the city without having to need a car. It's an affordable option for getting around the city. So it's one of the really great features of our programs. Student support services. We have a variety of services that are available to our year-round students, and those services are available almost identically to our summer students. So we have a student health center, we have libraries for research, we have research librarians who are happy to help you if you're working on a paper or a particular assignment. We have fitness centers on campus that you can use, a career center that we often partner with for programming, so I'll talk more about that in a second. We have writing centers on campus for writing support, course advising, which is a large part of what I do, so that's always near and dear to my heart. We have computer labs on campus that you can use if you don't bring a personal computer to campus, or even if you do. There's lots of software in those computer labs that may be of use depending on your courses. And then we have our International Student Services Center, which is really the home of all of the visa and immigration experts at our university. They can answer questions about your particular visa, about how to travel during your stay with us, when you need to return, and all of those types of questions. So they're a really great group of experts, and we introduce students who come to us on a visa to them at their orientation. For program activities, we have a variety of them, and we partner not only with our on-campus experts, but also with folks in the field. So we have networking opportunities for professional development, where students can meet with people in different industries, or meet with experts in a field, perhaps on-campus faculty experts or experts that we've brought in from nearby organizations. In the past, we've had the opportunity to bring with us World Bank officials and just kind of sit with them, talk through how they came to work at the World Bank and what they do there. We also try to provide a lot of trips to nearby locales. So things such as visiting Alexandria or the Mount Vernon Estate. Sometimes we take trips to close cities. So we are very close to Baltimore, to Philadelphia, to Annapolis. So because we're on the East Coast corridor, it's fairly easy to travel between cities. So that is another opportunity that we make available. That includes our day trips. And then, I mean, really, while you're with us, there's going to be a variety of social and cultural activities. We can't capture them all on one slide, but we've done White House tours when that's available. We have done historic tours of the mall and the monuments. We have done social things such as ice cream socials or dances, depending on the program. So lots of things are going on throughout the week. We try to make it a very interactive program, and we really try to make it easy for you to join the community that's with us for the summer so that you can meet other people and really get a full DC experience. So these costs cover our general study options at the undergraduate and graduate level. So I'll review those now. So we have, for our undergraduate students, we have general study and Washington in the World. So Claire went over the general study option. It's basically students are able to choose from a wide variety of our courses, and they can, at the undergraduate level, for full-time study, they need to take 2 courses. So they can choose from among the 650 options that they have, and this is an estimate of the cost for that option. Our 2015 costs are still being finalized, but they'll be available on our website shortly. And then you'll also see next to general study for undergraduates that there is a Washington in the World option. That is a set of 2 undergraduate level courses that focus on a variety of diplomacy and international relations and domestic politics issues. It's trying to frame domestic politics in a global context. It looks particularly at China, which has a Go Global strategy right now. And in addition to being a set of 2 courses at the undergraduate level, it features a lot of co-curricular events, so meeting with experts, engaging on Capitol Hill, and really getting to talk to people who are in the political field and have good insight into that realm of diplomacy and public policy. So that's for full-time undergraduates. For full-time graduates, study only entails 1 course per 6-week session, and so they can choose from among our 650 courses to select something that really will help them move forward in their studies. And for either of the general study options at the undergraduate or graduate level, I advise students one-on-one, and I'm always happy to help as you're looking through our course options to find what's a good fit for you. Our pre-college program, which does not appear on this slide, is for high school students again, and that has a variety of different programs. So there are 2-week non-credit sessions, there are 3-week credit sessions, and there are 6-week credit sessions, which all have different costs. We cover a variety of topics in those programs. They are wonderful options for high school students. And in the Q&A box, we'll provide more information on that program in particular because you're not seeing it here. But so these are an idea of the costs for those programs. In general, summer is a difficult time to provide financial aid or scholarships. So what we always recommend to students who are interested in study but are looking for some type of financial aid or scholarship opportunity is to connect with their home school. So that could be your high school if you're a high school student, that could be your university if you're at university level, and see if there are any scholarship opportunities there for summer study. We also recommend that you check in with your government, so your education ministry or department, for possible scholarship opportunities. And then there are also in countries around the world, we have Education USA. And Education USA has offices in most every country, and they have an encyclopedic knowledge of the opportunities available in the US at large. And they will be able to also help if you have questions about scholarship or funding, which we know are prominent questions that students have. So our application process are pretty similar across the programs. So I'll go through that step by step. So for all of our programs, we have an online application where you will put in some personal information about who you are, and you will choose a particular program that you're interested in. So whether you're interested in our general study program, our Washington in the World program, or our pre-college program. For international students seeking visa sponsorship, there are visa application documents, including a financial certificate to verify your finances for summer study. We also ask for accompanying English scores. So we look at the TOEFL and IELTS tests. And in some cases, students are able to use other other requirements to supplement that particular test. So for example, if you don't have TOEFL or IELTS scores, but you have received a degree from an English language institution, so perhaps an American university abroad, or perhaps your country has English as an official language, we can sometimes substitute those in place of a TOEFL or IELTS score. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to our office, and we're always happy to help advise you further on that. For international students seeking visa sponsorship, there's a $100 application fee, and our application materials can be found at that URL. So that URL will direct you to our undergraduate and graduate opportunities, and it will also have a link back to our pre-college program for any high school students interested in studying with us. And in general, our deadlines happen to be in May. So you'll see for students at the undergraduate or graduate level interested in studying with us for General Studies Session 1, that begins in May, May 18th. So that has an earlier deadline because it begins earlier. But for those of us interested in either pre-college or our second session, which includes general study at the undergraduate and graduate level, pre-college, and Washington and the world, our deadlines are a bit later in May. So you'll see the May 1st deadline there, and we encourage all students to apply as early as they can because it really helps to get the visa process started early. So that concludes this presentation. You'll see our contact information, and we're going to take questions now. And you'll see our contact information below. We have an email address. You're always welcome to call us. I host Skype hours throughout the week. And for the next few weeks, I will also be chatting on College Week Live as well. So you'll see those events on the College Week Live website. So I'm going to look for questions now, and Claire and I will take some questions from you over the next few minutes.
Hello again, everyone. I saw we had some questions in our chat box, particularly about scholarship opportunities. Again, as Andrea mentioned, during the summer, it's a little bit harder to offer financial aid, just the way that the universities work across the country. But we do, as Andrea mentioned, she does encourage, and we both encourage you to check out Education USA. They're a great resource. You should also check with your local government. We find that a lot of students are able to find scholarships through local government agencies or other local entities. There may be some local people who are able to fund some of your study. So we would definitely encourage you to check there. I would say, again, also just looking at the various costs that come at the university. You might decide if you are especially in the pre-college program, there are different options, as Andrea mentioned, the 2-week, 3-week, or 6-week. So depending upon your length of stay, cost will vary a little bit with that as well. So that may be an option for you as well. Seeing if there are other questions. Contact information is also listed here on this slide. You can see it's, as Andrea mentioned, there are many ways to contact us, whether via email, via Skype, or again through College Week Live. So please definitely feel free, do not be shy to contact us. We'll be happy to help you. Again, we're specifically with the summer office, so we're here to talk about short-term programs. If you have questions about undergraduate or graduate level admissions for the whole academic years, we highly recommend that you contact our offices of undergraduate admissions and graduate admissions, because they'll be able to help you much more specifically about what the options are for students. So you can find that on our website. Our main website is gwu.edu. So we highly recommend you checking that out as well if you're interested in a longer term program. Ours are for shorter term programs, specifically during the months of May through August. So I don't know if there are other questions. I'm looking in feel free where it says Q&A to chat in any questions that you have. We'll also have representatives through through our College Week Live chat session. So until 1 o'clock our time today, so for the next probably 6 hours or so, we'll have more people who are available to chat with you. So definitely feel free to come back and visit us on our actual chat page on College Week Live. I don't know if there are some other questions too. What I also see is questions about also for some long-term programs. As I mentioned, our undergraduate and graduate admission pages can definitely tell you that. They'll also have information about fees and tuition and fees on that as well. Our website is also the summer website. It's summer.gwu.edu. And you'll find information on that about also tuition and options, particularly for international students. You'll see a tab that says for international students, and we would highly recommend checking out those options too. And you can find all of this information on our College Week Live homepage as well. Let's see if there are any other questions. Don't feel shy. Happy to answer them. Okay. I think I don't see any. Well, also, if you go back to our main College Week Live page, we'll be sure to add the links to the undergraduate and graduate level admissions programs so that you can also see those for those who are interested in that at the George Washington University for sure. We're unable to send out a whole message, I think, to everybody here, so that would be the best place if you want to come back and find out what those links are. As I mentioned, you're also welcome to contact us via email here or check out our main website, which is gwu.edu. So I don't think, I'm not seeing any more questions right now, so I think we'll conclude this program, and we'd very much love for you to come back and join us in College Week Live or for any of the chats that Andrea mentioned with Summer. But we appreciate your time today, and we look forward to seeing you on chat or in person at GW in the near future.